The land is a being that remembers everything. Marman Silco, the town that remembers. 3 out of 4 people in the U.S. have seen a ghost. They don't talk about it, of course. Not here. Not in a town that prides itself on good manners, tidy porches, and the kind of neighborly smiles that make you forget winter lasts half the year. But silence only works until it doesn't. And in this town, the quiet was beginning to crack. Chapter 1, the town that remembers. People say this is a peaceful place. They say it with a kind of hopeful insistence, like if they repeat it enough times the river will stop whispering, and the shadows will behave themselves. And if you were just passing through, you might believe them. On the surface, this town is everything New England is supposed to be. In summer, the river glitters like a strip of hammered silver, winding past old brick mills and white clapboard houses with black shutters. Kids cannonball off the ropes, swing behind the fire station. The air smells like cut grass and charcoal grills, and the evenings hum with crickets and porch conversations. In autumn, the hills explode into color, reds so deep they look bruised, golds that glow like lanterns, oranges that burn against the gray stone walls the French trappers built 2 centuries ago. Tourists come in droves, clogging the narrow streets with rental cars and cameras, trying to capture a beauty that never quite fits inside a frame. In winter, the town turns quiet and reverent. Snow piles on the church steeple, softening the edges of everything like a paintbrush. Smoke curls from chimneys. The river freezes in places, leaving dark, slow-moving channels that look like veins beneath the ice. People shovel each other's driveways without being asked. The world feels small, safe, familiar. And in spring, muddy, messy, hopeful spring, the whole place smells like thawing earth and rain on old stone. The river swells, the maples drip sap, and the first green shoots push through last year's leaves like a promise. It's beautiful. It's postcard perfect. It's the kind of town where the street names Pawtuxet Road, Wanagin Lane, Sachem Street remind you that the land had a language long before the colonists arrived. A melting pot, people say. French trappers, Irish mill workers, Italian stonemasons, Portuguese fishermen, Narragansett and Wampanoag families whose roots go deeper than any deed or boundary line. A place where everyone's history overlaps like the rings of an old tree. Beneath the riverbank where children feed ducks, there are ashes from a winter encampment burned to the ground. Under the church basement, a collapsed tunnel still holds the bones of families who fled north in the dark. The church still smells faintly of incense and old wood. Children play tag on the lawn outside. The mill foundations are mortared with blood and crushed bone from accidents no one recorded. Every brick in this town was laid with someone's sweat, someone's grief, someone's blood. Lately, it had begun to stir. But beauty is a kind of camouflage, and history, when buried, has a way of fermenting. Long before the church steeple pierced the sky, before the mills rose along the river, before the colonists carved roads through the forest, this land belonged to the Narragansett and Wampanoag. His people. Families who fished these waters, hunted these woods, and told stories older than the stones. Birch canoes glided through morning mist. Smoke from cooking fires rose through the pines. Trails wound through the forest like ribbons. Then the strangers came, French trappers first, quiet men with strange tools and stranger intentions. Then English colonists, fences, muskets, diseases, treaties made and broken, villages emptied, families scattered. Land taken piece by piece. The first ghosts in this town were theirs then. A trading post became a settlement became a village became a town. The river was dammed, forests fell, structures rose. The land was reshaped by ambition. The town became a crossroads on the Underground Railroad. A church basement hid a secret tunnel. Families fleeing north passed through at night. People disappeared. A tunnel collapsed, killing those inside. The town buried the story literally and figuratively. The mills roared next, brick factories along the river drawing Irish, Italian, Portuguese, and French-Canadian workers. Long hours, low pay, dangerous machines, accidents, fires, drownings. The river ran black with dye. The town grew, but the cost was high. Then came the Civil War. Boys marched off to war from the town green. Families split between Union loyalty and Confederate sympathy. Letters arrived with bad news. Some men returned missing limbs. Every man returned changed. Some never returned at all. A makeshift hospital rose near the river. Many died of infection, fever, or wounds too deep to mend. Their graves lie beneath what is now a park. The war ended. The grief never did. At the center of it all stood the founder, Xavier Hawthorne, a man the town still celebrates. A man whose name is on the streets, the school, and the library. And the statue in the town square, the one with the proud bronze gaze and the plaque polished every Memorial Day, honors a man who built his fortune on cruelty and buried his worst sin beneath his own floorboards. He was a man who built his fortune on trade. Some of that trade was human. He owned people. He abused his power and scarred the land. Yet today, his bronze likeness stands in the sunlight. Children climb on it. Tourists take pictures. No one speaks of the blood beneath his boots. In Jewel Town, every family had a story. Every story had a ghost. Lately, it had begun to stir. On the surface, the town looks calm with pretty streets, familiar landmarks, and a beauty that convinces outsiders everything is fine. Some ghosts come from kindness, some from failure, all from memory. People revel in the beauty of this town. They never look past the paint. As for Tom, he arrived by accident or maybe by fate. Divorced. Broke. Drifting. A Narragansett man trying to outrun the pieces of his life that had fallen apart. He came into town with everything he owned packed into the back of his car: clothes, a few tools, a box of books that had followed him through every place he had ever lived. Nothing dramatic. Just a quiet arrival on a back road that curved along the river like it was leading him somewhere it already knew he needed to be. He didn't come here looking for anything. But the land felt familiar the moment he stepped out of the car, the way the air held its breath, the way the trees leaned in as if listening. His people have always paid attention to things like that. Maybe that's why he noticed the small details others let pass. The way the fog moved, the way the town seemed to carry its history just under the surface, the way people looked at him like they recognized something in his eyes before he ever spoke. He had always watched people. It was second nature. Growing up mixed race and native, he had learned to read a room before he entered it, to understand the currents beneath what people say. Folks had always just talked to him. They trusted him. They told him things they don't tell each other. And in a town like this, a place built on old stories, old wounds, and older ghosts, that kind of listening becomes its own kind of map. Some places breathe. Some places watch. His people have always known how to sense that. Standing beside his car with the river whispering behind him, everything in his history, the land, the stories, the intuition he never asked for, was already pulling him toward the truth this town had been holding onto for centuries. He had just arrived. But the story had been waiting for him. He wasn't looking for history. He wasn't looking for ghosts. He was just looking for work.